and Scooby with you here on SportsCenter. Nuggets and Clippers will play Game 7 tonight, which has become commonplace for Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic because the Nuggets have played 6 Game 7 since 2019, the most by any team during that span. As for the Clippers, Ty Lue, he'll be relying on James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell to advance to the conference semis. Our NBA Countdown crew previews this Western Conference showdown.
Ooh, gentlemen, we have the 2 best words in sports. We got a Game 7, and these 4 gentlemen behind us, they have plenty of Game 7 experience. So what is going to be the difference maker in this one?
To me, it's going to be James Harden. He shows up and balls out the way he did Thursday night in Game 6. The Clippers are going to the next round. He doesn't, they're going home. This is a legacy game for James Harden. We've talked too many times about how prolific he is, how great he has been. He's former league MVP, scoring champion multiple times. The brother is special. But as special as he is, there have been too many times in moments like this, in the postseason, versus San Antonio, versus Golden State, versus Boston when he was in Philadelphia, where he got accused of not showing up and nobody disagreed with one another about that. He can't let that happen Saturday against the Denver Nuggets. This is his game to take. It's in his hands. He has to embrace it like that, remind everybody who the hell he is, and handle his business and close this deal. Otherwise, the Clippers are going home.
Malika, no surprise, we're looking at a Game 7. The tightest series, maybe the most compelling series of the first round. Aaron Gordon's alley-oop dunk, the milliseconds. It could come down to that. It could come down to that moment to decide the outcome of this game. Stephen A. makes a great point. As great as James Harden is as a player and will be a Hall of Famer, why doesn't he show up in these games? Because he's too good a player to not, because we know what Jokic is going to do. I think we know what Murray's going to do, and Murray's a champion. Don't forget, there's some champions on Denver's side. Kawhi Leonard's a champion. I think I know what he's going to do. But I think what Stephen had said is the thing to watch. That's the big thing. The smaller thing is Nicholas Batum going into that starting lineup because he was very, very good in the game 6.
Oh, it wasn't a small thing. It was a huge thing. And that goes to Ty Lue and how great of a coach he is. Something we was asking J.J. Redick to do is make an adjustment, right?
Why do you have to throw Redick
Because
in
I wanted to. It's a learning, it's a teaching moment for him.
Okay.
And when I think about this series, I had it going 7, and I got the Clippers winning. 1, because I trust Kawhi Leonard Jordan, right, to be the closer. 2, I haven't seen a team and an individual like the Clippers and Zubac defend Jokic the way they defended him this series, and especially the one-on-one defense I saw Zubac display in Game 6. It's going to be a brawl for it all, but I got the Clippers closing it out.
Denver loses be second straight year. They lost on their home court in a Game 7.
The other thing to watch is going to be on the sidelines, right? Ty Lue heading into his 5th Game 7 here. He's won the previous 4, including against Bob's Golden State Warriors. This will be the first for rookie coach here, David Adelman.
Okay, ESPN Bet. Aaron Dolan is here with us. You know, sports junkies, couple things they love. A good parlay and a good Game 7. So how can they get in on the fun tonight?
Well, let's start with James Harden to go under 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We call this his par prop. Now, he's really struggled in Game 7s historically. That's a narrative that I'm going to buy into, considering he's only averaging 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists in Game 7s in his career. So typically he shoots much better during the series, but when it comes clutch time, not as good for James Harden. So we'll go under 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Also going to add in Zubac to have a double-double. So every game in this series that has been very close, he's averaged about 40 minutes and easily was able to have a double-double. Last game he only played 33 minutes, so again, the minutes are going to be there considering it's a do-or-die situation. He's been great for this team, so I do expect him to have a double-double. That's juicy, which is why we're adding this into a same-game parlay. So Harden under par, also Zubac to have a double-double, and last but not least, Nikola Jokic to have 10 or more rebounds. In 5 Game 7s in his career, he's averaging 17 rebounds. This guy is so good. I don't even really have to give stats on Nikola Jokic. It makes sense. Here's all the different legs you can get. Right now, this is on ESPN Bet at plus 180. Again, just a fun same-game parlay for this game for tonight.
Okay, so that's the West. Let's turn to the East. Second round's getting going. That means the Knicks, Celtics, they play on Monday. What do you like in that series?
So there's many ways that you can play a series, especially on ESPN Bet. So go take a look at that right now. But I actually like Boston, the exact score after 3 games, to be Boston up 2-1. Now, they beat the New York Knicks 4 times in the regular season. 3 of those 4 wins, they had won by an average of 13 points. They also put up a ton of points on that team, 125 per game. Now, again, that's during the regular season, but Boston is a step up in class for the New York Knicks. But I do think the Knicks, because this is a postseason, they could have one big game, especially in Game 3, if Boston wins both those games to start the series, which I expect. So I'll take them 2-1 Boston to start out. But the series spread, for what it's worth, -2.5 for Boston, and they're -900 favorites to win the series.
She loves to dole out winners for you. You can get in on the fun. All you got to do, download the ESPN Bet app and get going. ED, thank you.
Sports Center, brought to you by Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, now playing in theaters everywhere.
Scooby and Brian with you on Sports Center. The series between the Nuggets and Clippers have been a movie. Just like the Thunderbolts, you know what I'm saying? From buzzer beaters to historic performances, it's only right the basketball gods blessed us with a Game 7 after LA beat Denver 111-105 in Game 6, where James Harden led them in scoring with 28 points. A lot of questions heading into Game 7, so it's only right we bring in Quentin Richardson and David Dennis Jr. to answer those questions. And we'll be running a little pick and roll with both the homies pulling up. So, Q, I'm going to start with you. Teams make adjustments from game to game in the playoffs, and as we know, finding the right matchup consistently can make a huge difference. So what's the individual matchup you're going to be locked in on tonight?
Man, I've been saying it this whole series. Big Zoo and Joker. I mean, right now, we've all been talking about how Joker, they go as Joker goes. So with Big Zoo being the best defensive player on him in the last 10 years, I don't look for Big Zoo to go in there and like shut Joker down. That's impossible. Nobody can do that. But what he needs to do is make things difficult, make it a test for him, make it challenging, make it uncomfortable, and go back on the other end, on the other offensive end. And Zoo is a force down there, shooting very high field goal percentage in the paint, huge rebounder in the double-double, and stays getting double-double in rebounds and points. So he has to have his impact on the game and make everything difficult and hard for Joker.
Yeah, that may be the most pivotal matchup, but the most unpredictable matchup is James Harden versus Game 7. Like, that is the thing that we have to look at. Like, he had a great Game 6 in the elimination game, but the last time we saw him in the Game 7 was against the Heat. He had 9 points. James Harden, since leaving OKC, has averaged 17% from 3. 17% from 3. And this is coming off of now, he played 46 minutes in Game 6. He has to show up and be a difference. He has to get rid of those bugaboos and be the James Harden that we know he can be in pivotal games, not necessarily in Game 7s. That Game 7 stuff has to be in the background for him and that Clippers team to succeed.
That is so true. And to your point, Dennis, in Harden's last Game 7 back with Philly, he put up 9 points in 41 minutes in a loss to Boston. More with you both in a moment, so stick around. Brian?
Well, that's because we got to go to the East, the Eastern Conference semifinal matchups. You got the Pacers taking on the top seed Cavaliers. Indy took 3 of 4 from Cleveland in the regular season. However, 2 of those games came once the Cavs had already clinched the #1 seed. Then you got the Knicks. They're going to face off against the defending champion Celtics. First time these 2 historic franchises will meet in the playoffs, believe it or not, since 2013. Boston just dominated the regular season series, winning by an average of over 16 points per game. So back with Q Rich, Double D. Q, I'll start with you. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hurt, both hobbled with those nagging injuries. How concerned are you with the Knicks and their depth in this series?
I'm very concerned. Right now, you know, obviously they've been able to lean on Jalen Brunson as the leader. Big body Brunson has been everything, Mr. Clutch in the fourth, and then Cat Anthony Towns has been the other alpha on that team. So they're going to need, particularly against this Celtics team, to go very deep with a deep roster and bring guys in and have big contributors off the bench. The Knicks are definitely going to need their bench and their complementary players to step up and be supportive for Cat and Jalen Brunson, because the Boston Celtics have been doing what they've been doing with players in and out of the lineup. So that shows the type of depth they have. And Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are going to need all of the support from everybody. Josh Hart, Anunoby, everybody's going to need big series to come in and help them even have a chance against the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm worried about their depth, their width, their height. I'm worried about every single dimension I possibly can for this Knicks team playing against the Celtics. This matchup is brought to you by the letter M for miracle, because it's going to take a miracle for this Knicks team to beat the Celtics. But also, the other M is mismatches. This Boston Celtics team knows how to single out those mismatches defensively. They're going to be aiming for Karl Anthony Towns off of those screens. They're going to be targeting Jalen Brunson. That's what the Celtics do. When they find somebody they want to go at, they do it relentlessly. And unlike Detroit, they can put 5 scorers on the floor. You cannot leave anybody open. And also, unlike Detroit, that Boston Celtics team will not fold in that fourth quarter. The bright lights of MSG will not get to them. The Knicks will have to keep this close for those first 3 quarters and hope that Jalen Brunson can be clutch Jalen Brunson and pull out a few of these games. But this looks like it may be a short series, and the Knicks may be in big, big trouble against the Celtics team.
I know Knicks fans are listening to you, David, right now saying, so you're saying there's a chance. Q,
Look, they already gave me a hard time. They already gave me a hard time for saying Cade was going to be the best player in the series. Yeah. I was dead wrong. The Knicks have been on my tail for the last week.
So, man, I know they letting you hear that.
Absolutely.
I know they letting you hear that.
Oh, man.
Q, let's talk about the other.
I had to mute my social media for a little bit.
I love it. Q, let's talk about the other Eastern matchup. You got Cleveland and Indiana. It starts tomorrow. Look, Cavs, obviously the heavy favorites to win this series. But if the Pacers are going to keep this one interesting, what do you think they have to do?
Tyrese Halliburton has to be a superstar. They have to keep the pace up as they're a high tempo team, and they need their supporting cast. They need Miles Turner. All of the some supplemental guys need to step up and play very big, because this Cleveland team right now is hitting on all cylinders, looking like they're gonna be hard to put out.
Yeah, I'm with you exactly about pushing that tempo, because when you get in that half court, that Pacers half court defense has been a middling half court defense for most of this season, and that Cavs half court offense is one of the best half court offenses we've ever seen from an efficiency standpoint. So once you get a slow game where you're getting those half court sets, they're going to carve up that Pacers defense. The Pacers have to keep the Cavs off balance. They have to figure out a way to push that pace. Q, I'm with you 100% on that.
By the way, ESPN Bet has the Cavaliers at -500 to win this series. Double D, Q, thank you.